The knife came out at 2:47 a.m., 3 hours into my night shift at the Stop and Go on 5th and Mercer. The kid holding it couldn't have been older than 19. Hoodie too big, eyes too wide, hands shaking so bad the blade clicked against the plastic counter. "Give me the register money. All of it." I was reaching for the drawer when the lights changed. Not the fluorescence, something else. A blue tint washed over everything, like the whole store had been dropped underwater. The kid froze. His eyes went vacant, staring at something I couldn't see. Then I saw mine. A translucent screen filled my vision. Blocky white text on a black background, the kind of font you'd see in a 90s computer game. Class assignment in progress. Player status. Denied. NPC class detected. Merchant. Passive ability unlocked. Shop sanctuary. Warning. Hostile action detected in shop zone. Neutralizing. The kid screamed. Not from fear. From pain. He dropped the knife and clutched his wrist. The blade clattered against the linoleum. I looked down at it. A notification hovered over the weapon. Item. Rusty switchblade. Condition. Poor. Value to player. 2 gold. Merchant buy price. 0.02 gold. I picked it up. My hand passed through the blue light like it was nothing. The weight was real. I looked at the kid. He was on his knees, tears streaming down his face. A new notification popped up over his head. Player. Jason K. Level 1. Status. Penalized. Reason. Attempted hostile action in sanctuary zone. What the hell did you do to me? He sobbed. My hand won't move. I didn't answer. I was too busy reading the wall of text scrolling past my eyes. Inventory, buy rates, sell rates, crafting bench, shop expansion, employee management. Welcome to the game, I thought. I am the rules. The kid crawled out of the store around 3:15. The paralysis wore off once he crossed the threshold. He ran like something was chasing him. Maybe something was. I spent the next hour alone, reading my interface. The numbers were obscene. Every item in the store had 2 prices floating beside it. The market price, what a player would pay at a normal vendor, and the merchant price, my price. A bottle of water, market, 1 gold. My buy price, 0.01 gold. My sell price, 10 gold. A bag of chips, market, 0.5 gold. My buy price, 0.005 gold. My sell price, 5 gold. The markup was exactly 1000% on everything, and the buy rate was exactly 1%. I wasn't just a shopkeeper. I was a vacuum cleaner with a storefront. At 4:30, the first real player walked in. He was a gym type. Early 20s, protein shake in hand, eyes still glowing from whatever character creation screen he'd been staring at. He had a sword on his back. An actual steel sword, hanging from a leather strap like he'd walked out of a Renaissance fair. Player. Derek the Brave. Level 2. Class. Swordsman. Gold. 47. You the vendor? He asked. I'm the owner, I said. Cool. I need health potions. The tutorial dungeon is wrecking me. I pointed at the rack behind me. The Stop and Go didn't sell health potions. It sold aspirin, energy drinks, and off-brand vitamin water. But my interface had other ideas. Item. Discount energy shot. Berry flavor. Crafting potential detected. Recipe. Energy shot plus purified water plus sugar packet equals minor health potion. Cost to craft. 0.03 gold. Sell price, 15 gold. I have just what you need, I said. I grabbed the energy shot, a bottle of water, and a sugar packet from the coffee station. My hands moved automatically, guided by a prompt I couldn't see, but somehow felt. The items dissolved in a flash of blue light. A small glass vial appeared on the counter, filled with liquid that glowed faintly red. Derek's eyes went wide. Whoa, did you just craft that? Minor health potion, I said. Restores 30 health over 10 seconds. 15 gold. 15? The guild market charges 25. Then buy it there. He looked at the vial. He looked at my face. He looked at the empty street behind him. Fine. 15. He placed the coins on the counter. They materialized out of thin air, little golden discs that chimed when they hit the laminate. My gold counter ticked up. 15. Derek uncorked the potion and drank it in one gulp. His face relaxed. A green number floated over his head. Plus 30. Dude, he said, that's way better than the guild stuff. You got more? I have whatever you can pay for. He bought 3 more. Then 5 stamina potions. Then a mana crystal I'd crafted from a 9-volt battery and a cough drop. By sunrise, I had 247 gold. Derek left with an empty wallet and a grin on his face, convinced he'd gotten the deal of a lifetime. He hadn't. I'd paid less than 1 gold for everything I'd sold him. Word spread fast. By noon, the store was crowded. Not with regular customers, with players. They wore leather armor that smelled like tanning chemicals. They carried weapons they'd looted from who knows where. They spoke in a shorthand I barely understood: aggro, DPS, tank specs, crit builds. I didn't need to understand them. I just needed their money. The line stretched out the door. I crafted potions from soda and aspirin. I forged daggers from kitchen knives and Sharpie markers. Every transaction ended the same way. The player walked away happy, and my gold counter climbed higher. Then the graveyard gang showed up. There were 4 of them, mid-level, according to the tags floating over their heads. Levels 8 through 12. They wore matching jackets, black leather with a white tombstone stitched on the back. The leader was a woman, short, heavy-set, with a scar running from her ear to her jaw. Her name tag read Vera Grave, level 12, and her class was Brawler. She didn't get in line. She walked straight to the counter and leaned on it with both elbows. New vendor, she said. It wasn't a greeting. It was an assessment. Private property, I said. Line starts at the door. We don't do lines. You do here. She smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. Here's how this works, NPC. You give us a discount. 50% off everything, permanent. In exchange, we don't break your legs and loot your stock. Players have done it before. The system doesn't protect shopkeepers forever. I looked at my interface. Warning. Hostile intent detected. Shop sanctuary status. Active. Optional protocol. Asset forfeiture. Let me check my inventory, I said. I reached under the counter. My hand found the shotgun I kept there for emergencies. The legal kind. Registered. 12 gauge. Loaded with buckshot. Vera laughed. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? The system prevents PvP in safe zones. You can't hurt me. I know, I said. I pulled the trigger. The blast was deafening. The buckshot hit the invisible wall of the sanctuary 2 inches from Vera's face. The pellets flattened in midair and dropped to the floor like lead rain. Vera didn't flinch. She didn't need to, but her smile vanished. What the hell was that? She asked. A demonstration, I said. You can't hurt me. I can't hurt you. Those are the rules. Then what? But I can do this. I selected asset forfeiture from my menu. The world turned blue again. Vera's eyes went wide. She tried to move. She couldn't. None of them could. The entire graveyard gang was frozen in place, locked in stasis by the sanctuary's secondary protocol. I walked around the counter. Article 7 of the Merchant Code. I read from a prompt only I could see. Any hostile action committed within a shop zone results in the automatic seizure of all contraband, currency, and equipped items. No trial, no appeal. I reached toward Vera. My hand passed through her chest like she was a hologram. When I pulled back, I held her leather jacket, then her brass knuckles, then her boots, then her gold. Item by item, I stripped her naked. Not literally. The system left undergarments. Everything else, armor, weapons, accessories. Her entire inventory materialized in a pile on my counter. 53 items in total, worth roughly 4,000 gold on the open market. I did the same to the other 3. It took less than a minute. When I released them, they collapsed, not from pain, from the sudden weight of poverty. Vera stared at her hands, bare, pale, empty. You can't do this, she whispered. I can, I said. And I did. I picked up her jacket. The tombstone emblem stared back at me. Want it back? I asked. 500 gold. I don't have 500 gold. You took everything. Then I guess you'll need a loan. I opened a new menu. Contract. Debt bond. The terms wrote themselves. Principal. 500 gold. Interest. 10% per day. Collateral. Experience points. If she defaulted, the system would literally level her down. Sign it, I said, or walk out of here naked and broke. She signed. They all did. The other players in line watched in silence. Not one of them spoke. Not one of them tried to intervene. They just shuffled forward, placed their gold on the counter, and bought their potions at full price. Vera, grave, walked out, wearing a stop-and-go t-shirt I'd sold her for 10 gold. Her face was the color of old dishwater. Face slapped, wallet emptied, dignity optional. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. My interface had a new prompt flashing in the corner. Shop level, 2 max for current zone. Expansion available. Purchase adjacent property. Cost, 1,000 gold. I had 6,412 gold. The building next door was a laundromat. It had been closed for 3 months. The owner, a man named Harold, had died of a heart attack in one of the dryers. No one wanted to buy it. I did. At 6 a.m., I knocked on the door of the property management office. A tired woman in a pantsuit answered. Her name tag said Patricia. Her player tag said Patricia Meaners, Level 3, Receptionist Class. I want to buy the laundromat, I said. It's not for sale. It's for lease. I'll buy it. Cash. She looked at me like I was crazy. Then she looked at the gold I dropped on her desk. Real gold. System gold. It weighed the same, shone the same, and her interface confirmed its value. Where did you get this? She asked. I'm a merchant, I said. I trade. An hour later, I owned the laundromat. The moment the deed transferred, my interface updated. New property acquired. Shop zone expanded. 2,400 square feet. New feature unlocked. Crafting bench. New feature unlocked. Employee spawn. New feature unlocked. Display case. I walked into the empty laundromat. The washers were still there, rusted and dead. I didn't need them. I selected display case and placed it against the front window. A glass cabinet materialized out of blue light, pristine and glowing. Then I opened my crafting menu. The possibilities were endless. A broken sword plus copper wire plus a ruby ring equals flame-touched longsword. Sell price, 800 gold. A leather jacket plus duct tape plus a car battery equals reinforced combat vest. Sell price, 1,200 gold. A bottle of bleach plus ammonia plus a handful of nails equals don't craft that. Even my interface warned me. By noon, the display case was full. Swords that hummed with heat. Boots that left sparking footprints. Gloves that made your hands blur with speed. The players lost their minds. A line wrapped around the block. I hired 2 employee NPCs from the interface generic men named Greg and Tomas, who smiled blankly and handled the register while I crafted in the back. I sold out by 3 p.m. That's when the competition arrived. His name was Reginald. His interface said Reginald, V, level 15, and his class was entrepreneur. He wore a tailored suit that cost more than my car. He walked in like he owned the place, which he apparently thought he soon would. You're the new guy, he said. I'm the owner, I said. For now, I'm opening a supply depot across the street. Better prices, better stock, better location. I'm telling you this as a courtesy. Sell me your lease for 10,000 gold and walk away. No. 20,000. No. Don't be stupid. I'm offering you a retirement. I looked past him. Through the window, I could see the building he'd leased, a former coffee shop. Workers were already hauling in shelves. You think you can undersell me? I asked. I know I can. I have supply chains, wholesalers, bulk purchasing. You have a player interface, I said. I have the merchant interface. There's a difference. Which is? You'll find out tomorrow. He laughed and walked out. Tomorrow came. Reginald's shop opened at 9 a.m. He sold health potions for 18 gold. I sold them for 15. He sold iron swords for 90 gold. I sold steel swords for 80. His shop was empty. Not because my prices were lower. Because at 9:15 a.m., every player who walked into his store got a notification. Warning, this vendor is not authorized. No merchant protection active. Item quality, unverified. Refund policy, none. My shop had the system's seal of approval. His didn't. Players didn't trust unauthorized vendors. What if the potions were fake? What if the sword broke mid-dungeon? By 2 p.m., Reginald stood in the middle of his empty store, watching players stream into my building. At 4 p.m., he walked in. His suit was wrinkled. His hair was messy. How? He asked. I'm an NPC merchant, I said. You're a player with a business degree. One of us has divine right. The other has a spreadsheet. He stared at me. I'll pay you, he said. Teach me how to get the merchant class. You can't. Then I'll work for you. I looked at him. Level 15. High charisma. Decent stats. You can sweep the floor, I said. Minimum wage. System enforced. He swept. The iron circle didn't knock. They came at midnight. 20 players, levels 15 through 28. Guild tabards. A red circle on black cloth. Professional gear. Organized formations. Their guildmaster was a man named Thorn. Level 28. Battle mage class. His staff alone was worth more than my original store. They surrounded the building. Mages in the back. Tanks in the front. Rogues on the roof. I watched them through the security camera. My interface helpfully labeled each one with their level, class, and estimated threat level. Threat assessment. Extreme. Shop sanctuary. Vulnerable to sanctuary breaker devices. Detected. 1x mythic grade siege item. Thorn stepped forward. He held a red crystal the size of a fist. Merchant, he shouted. You have until the count of 3 to open the door and surrender your stock. We've acquired a sanctuary breaker. Your little shield won't save you.
How?
I walked to the front door. I didn't open it. I just stood behind the glass and looked at him. 1! Thorn yelled. I checked my menu. Emergency protocols available. Option A. Summon shop guard. Cost 500 gold. Option B. Taxation of aggression. Cost 1,000 gold. Option C. Asset seizure. Cost 2,000 gold. Option D. All of the above. Cost 3,500 gold. I had 40,000 gold. 2. I selected D. 3. Thorn smashed the crystal against the pavement. Red light exploded outward. It hit my sanctuary shield like a hammer on glass. Cracks spread across the invisible barrier. The blue tint flickered. For 30 seconds, the shield was down. Rush! Thorn screamed. The tanks charged. The door shattered. They poured inside, weapons drawn, spells glowing. Greg and Tomas didn't move. They were NPC employees. They didn't have combat protocols. They just stood behind the register, smiling. I stood at the crafting bench. Welcome to the store, I said. The first wave hit me. A tank swung a warhammer. A rogue threw 3 knives. A mage cast fireball. None of them connected. Not because the shield was back up, because the taxation of aggression had already activated. A notification appeared over every hostile player in the room. Hostile action committed. Auto debit, 500 gold per attack. Stamina tax, Negative 50% per hostile action. Mana tax. Negative 50% per hostile action. The tank's warhammer stopped mid-swing. Not physically. His arms still worked, but his stamina bar drained to 0 in an instant. He collapsed, gasping. The mage's fireball fizzled. Her mana hit 0. She dropped to her knees, clutching her temples. The rogue's knives hit me. They bounced off nothing. Then his gold counter ticked down. 3 attacks, 1,500 gold, gone. Thorn pushed through the chaos. His staff glowed white. "You think taxes will stop me?" he roared. "I'll pay your stupid fees and burn this place to the ground!" He raised his staff. I selected Asset Seizure. The staff vanished. 1 second it was in Thorn's hands. The next it was on my crafting bench, glowing peacefully. Item seized. Staff of the White Flame. Mythic grade. Sell price 25,000 gold. Thorn stared at his empty hands. "What?" he whispered. "Article 7, I said. "Also, your armor." His breastplate vanished. His boots, his rings, his cloak, his inventory. Piece by piece, the system stripped him bare. "Stop," he said. "Stop it! Stop it!" "Your guild funds," I continued. "Seized." A new notification appeared over the entire raid party. Guild account. Iron Circle. Status. Liquidated. Seized funds. 87,000 gold. The players stopped fighting. They couldn't fight. They had no weapons, no armor, no money, no guild. Thorn stood in the middle of my store wearing nothing but his underwear and a look of absolute existential horror. "You monster," he breathed. "I'm a merchant," I corrected. "You're a thief. I just enforced the terms of service." I walked to the counter. I picked up his staff. I held it out. "Want it back?" I asked. 25,000 gold. "I don't have 25,000 gold. You took everything. Then I guess you need a loan." The contract wrote itself. Principal, 25,000 gold. Interest, 15% per day. Collateral, experience points, 1 level per default. Thorn stared at the glowing text. "Sign it," I said, "or walk out of here naked, broke, and level 1. He signed. They all signed. I made 90,000 gold that night. The Iron Circle went from a top 10 guild to a cautionary tale. Players still tell the story. They call it the Midnight Liquidation. 3 days later, I noticed the first one. Her name was Lily, level 9, Ranger class. She'd been a regular customer, chatty, always tried to haggle, liked the berry-flavored stamina potions. She walked in at exactly 3:14 p.m. She didn't look at the display case. She didn't say hello. She walked to the counter, placed 5 gold coins in a neat stack, and said, "1 minor health potion, please." Exact words, flat tone, no haggle. 1. Berry stamina potions are on sale, I said. 1 minor health potion, please. Same inflection, same blank expression. I used appraisal. Lily, Wall, level 9. Class, Ranger. Status, Respond. Integrity, 71%. Soul fragmentation, detected. Note, previous instance terminated in Dungeon 4B. Current instance is copy 3. I felt cold. Not the air conditioning, something else. Lily, I said, what happened in Dungeon 4B? 1 minor health potion, please. You died there yesterday. 1 minor health potion, please. I gave her the potion. She left. I checked my interface. There was a tab I'd never noticed before. Customer history! I opened it. Lily had bought the same potion at 3:14 p.m. every day for the past 4 days. Exact time, exact phrasing, exact amount. But she'd only respawned 3 days ago. I started watching. I started appraising every customer who walked in. The ones with status, respond, all had the same dead eyes, the same repetition, The same drops in integrity. A warrior who used to laugh at my prices now stood silently until served. A mage who always asked for custom enchantments now bought a standard dagger every morning at 9 a.m. They weren't respawning. They were being replaced. The system wasn't bringing them back. It was printing new copies, cheaper versions, soul light models with lower specs and no warranty. And I was the only one who could see it. Merchant NPCs have appraisal privileges. Players don't. They just see their friend Lily walk back into the guild hall. Same face, same voice, and they think everything is fine. It's not fine. Lily is at 71% integrity. In a week, she'll be at 50%. In a month, she'll be an empty shell, wearing familiar skin. And nobody will notice, except me. The system pinged me at dawn. Event: the first bankruptcy. Guild: Iron Circle. Status: defaulted on all debts. Leader: Thorn. Level 1. Territory: unclaimed. Auction starting price: 1 gold. I stared at the notification. Thorn had defaulted. Of course he had. 25,000 gold at 15% daily interest compounds fast. He probably lost a level a day until he hit rock bottom. End quote. His territory included a city block, guild hall, training grounds, forge, barracks. All empty now. All unclaimed. The auction lasted 10 seconds. No one else bid. No one else had the merchant class. No one else could claim property this way. I bought it for 1 gold. My shop zone didn't just expand. It tripled. New property acquired. Shop zone, 45,000 square feet. New feature unlocked. Territory management. New feature unlocked. Spawn point control. New feature unlocked. Tax collection. I walked to the roof of the old Iron Circle Guild Hall. The sun was rising over the city. From up here, I could see everything. The players rushing to dungeons, the merchants hawking their wares, the respawned copies walking in loops, buying their daily rations, losing pieces of themselves one transaction at a time. I wasn't a hero. I wasn't a villain. I was the only merchant in a world that had forgotten it was a game. And business was absolutely booming.